One of the most common questions that I get asked is how I stayed so lean during my bulks. So today I'm going to be breaking down how I went from 125 pounds to 185 pounds while staying lean the entire time. If you're looking to have a productive and efficient bulk, these principles will help you maximize muscle growth and minimize fat gain. Step 1. Start lean. This first step might seem obvious, but it's often overlooked. Start your bulk at a relatively low body fat percentage. You can't completely avoid adding fat during a bulking phase, so why start out with extra fat if you don't have to? If you're already lean, great, skip this step. If you're carrying a bit of extra fat, I'd recommend cutting down first. Aim for visible abs and some vascularity as benchmark. When you're leaner, your body is more sensitive to a calorie surplus and therefore will have an easier time utilizing the nutrients. Step 2. Track your food. Next up, and the arguably most important step, accurately and consistently tracking your food. I know tracking can feel like a chore if you haven't started already, but it is absolutely necessary for maximizing your progress. Once you get used to it, it becomes second nature and is no added hassle. So, how can you start? Grab a cheap food scale off of Amazon, get a free calorie tracker app like Chronometer or MyFitnessPal, and stay away from those AI calorie tracker BS that your favorite fitness influencer is promoting. Once you have everything you need to track, we need to determine your baseline calorie intake. If you're coming off of a cut, you should already know around where your maintenance calories are. If not, use a TDE calculator and input your height, weight, and activity level to get an estimate of your baseline maintenance calories. So now that you know what your maintenance calories are, we need to determine your macronutrient breakdown. If you are starting a bulk and you are lean, take your body weight, multiply it by 1.25. This is how many grams of protein you should be eating. Now take this protein number, multiply it by 4 calories per gram of protein, and subtract that from your total calories. Next, multiply your body weight by 0.35. This is how many grams of fat you should be eating. Multiply this number by 9 calories per gram, and again, subtract this from your total remaining calories. To find your carb intake, divide the remaining calories by 4. This is how many grams of carbs you should be eating. So, eat at this baseline for 1 to 2 weeks and weigh yourself every morning. Weigh yourself fasted before you eat or drink anything and after you use the restroom. If your average weekly weight is going up faster than half a pound per week, or you're losing weight, adjust your total calories by adjusting your carbohydrates in order to get closer to your maintenance. Step 3. Structure your meals. Now that we've established our baseline food intake, let's talk about meal structure. If you're in a bulk, I strongly recommend eating 4 to 5 meals per day. Trying to fit your total food intake into 2 to 3 meals will make it so difficult to get the food down. Once you've picked a number of meals that works for you, ideally 4 to 5, maybe 6 if you're willing, split your protein evenly across all meals. Have your pre- and post-workout meals be the densest in carbohydrates. This will help to fuel performance and recovery. Keep your fat intake moderate in your pre- and post-workout meals as to not slow down digestion. In your meals further away from training, fat intake can be a little bit higher. Add 100 grams of vegetables to 3 to 4 of your meals and add 100 to 200 grams of fruit to all of your meals. This will help aid in digestion and provide you with necessary micronutrients. For your protein sources, stick to chicken, lean ground meats, eggs, egg whites, Greek yogurt, whey isolate, things like that. If you're looking for a clean ingredient whey isolate that tastes good and actually digests well, I am sponsored by Legion and I stand by their products. I use their whey isolate every single day. If you want to, you can go check out their website, see if there's any flavors that you like. Code nutsy will save you 20% at checkout. Your carb sources can be rice, cream of rice, which is my personal favorite, oats, potatoes, sweet potatoes, or even like certain bread products like bagels or sourdough if that sits right with you. Your fat sources should be the fats from your meat, possibly egg yolks, natural nut butters, avocados, avocado oil, coconut oil, olive oil, healthy fats like that. If certain meal or food choices don't digest well, swap them out. Don't try and eat these foods if they're causing you GI distress. Step 4 is using the logbook in your training. You need to be logbooking your workouts. If you don't know what logbooking is, it's tracking the weight you did for how many reps for each set of each exercise. Your goal is to beat your previous session's numbers. This is a good indicator that you progressively overloaded and therefore are building muscle. This should go without saying, but you should already be following a structured training routine that is consistent week to week. If you're interested, let me know in the comments and I'll make a full video on how to structure your own training routine. So step 5, when to increase food. Here's the golden rule. Increase your food when your weekly average weigh-ins are stalling out and so is your strength. So, this is why we take this data. Weighing yourself every morning will give you that average weekly weight. and logbooking will let you know if you're progressing your strength or not. Now, if you're not gaining weight, but your strength is still progressing, you do not need to increase your food. If weight has stalled and your strength is stalled, that's when we can bump up food. So, if you're eating your baseline food and your strength begins to stall out and you decide it's time for a food bump, what should you do? Start out by adding 25 to 50 grams of carbs on your training days. The amount of food you eat on your training days should be higher than what you're eating on your rest days. This is because on rest days, you're not training and therefore you don't need as much food. Utilizing a different rest day and training day calorie intake is huge for optimizing your body composition. Eventually, your food will be bumped up to around 500 to 700 calories more on your training days than it is on your rest days. At this point, that's when you can start adding food to both days when you decide to have a food bump. For example, let's say your baseline calorie intake was 2,500 calories, and now you've bumped up your training day to 3,200 calories and your rest day is still at 2,500 calories. For your next food bump, you could increase food on both your training and rest days. Eventually, your carbohydrate portions might get a little bit intimidating, and then you can start adding 5 to 10 grams of fat onto your training and rest days. Step 6. Optimize your digestion. So again, I said earlier, if a food is not sitting well with you, swap it out. As your food intake increases, your digestion becomes crucial. If your meals feel too large, consider adding another meal and splitting your food intake up. This will help you digest each meal properly and not completely nuke your appetite. Also, walking after meals is a game changer for digestion and appetite. Aim for a daily step count, for example, 8 to 10,000 steps, and include like 2 to 3 cardio sessions per week. The steps will help with digestion and your appetite, and the cardio will also help with appetite and maximizing body composition and ensuring that you have good heart health. Step 7. Monitor your progress. So as I said earlier, we're taking those daily fasted weigh-ins, but you should also be taking progress photos. Take progress photos weekly, also fasted, in the same location with consistent lighting. Use these progress photos in your weekly average weight as well as your logbook to determine when you need to increase food or pull food back. Remember, in order to stay lean, a less is more approach when adding food is critical. Alright, so to recap, start lean, track your food meticulously, structure your meals for optimal digestion and performance, logbook your training to ensure progress, weigh yourself fasted every morning and determine your average weekly weight. Increase food only when necessary. Prioritize appetite and daily movement. Thank you guys for watching this entire video. I hope you guys learned something from it. Maybe you learned some principles that you can use for your next bulk. If you like the hoodie that I'm wearing, it's from AuspiciousBLVD. Link to their website will be down in the description. Code nutsy to save you some money. Let me know if you guys want to see a cutting video on structuring your training, anything like that. Just let me know down in the comments. Alright, I'll see y'all in the next one.